So for those of you who have poultry, who don't have time to be cleaning up your poultry farm every day as people do, like me, like I'm a very busy mom and I don't have time to be cleaning poop every day, and yet I don't want smell because of myself or because of neighbors, so I have to do these things to help me. Okay, I don't need to clean for months and yet my chicken coop will not smell. I don't do those stress every day. All I have to just do is come and feed them in the morning and I go my way. Make sure there is food for them to eat, there is drinking water, and I go my way, and my coop will not smell. Okay, welcome back to this channel. Okay, so in today's video I'm going to be talking about how I used to remove smell. Okay, I'm going to show you one secret ingredient which is also a lifesaver that I was using to reduce smell, that they were not smelling, with other things I had to do around their cave to prevent the smell. So you want to stay right with me. So for those of you who have poultry, who don't have time to be cleaning up your poultry farm every day as people do, now this video is for you. I'm going to give you secret tips. Now during my research, I told you I don't like smell. During my research, I saw some persons who were able to clean up only once in a year. Those ones, they even have a big poultry farm where they have lots of chickens with a roof, a house, a real poultry farm. Yeah, but because of this technique I'm going to give you, they applied it and it worked for them. They don't have smell. They are able to, some of them clean once in a year, some clean twice in a year. Okay, so I'm going to be revealing that, so you want to watch with me till the end. Okay, so this then with other remedy which I apply to them, another thing I feed them with, that also contributes to helping me out. But in my own case, I was able to do it only twice. 2 months at a stretch. I never cleaned or clear the cave for 2 good months. And why I even cleaned it at the second month in 2 months time was because water was entering into it. Okay, so when the rains fall, sometimes I'm able to cover them with a tarpaulin, sometimes it still penetrates inside, and all my setup and everything was soaked with water. So at some point I had to clean it up at month 2. Okay, but if you have a good place that rain and water will not disturb it and it won't get wet, then it's a good, you can even keep it till 6 months before you clean up and put a new one. So what are those secret tips? Now the first secret is what we call the deep litter system. Okay, now what we mean by the deep litter system is when you use a whole lot of wood shavings, okay, to fill up your chicken house. Okay, not the normal wood shavings, or some also call it sawdust, not the normal few you just pour or sprinkle in your farm. Yes, a lot of you use it in your farms, okay, but you just put a little in your farm and you spray. In this system, you're going to be heaping it a lot on your floor, the floor of your chicken house. Okay, you're going to be putting it up to like 4 to 6 centimeters, okay, high. So if you're using a cage like me, okay, you're using this kind of small chicken house, maybe just for your personal use or at the back of your backyard, or you don't have a big space to do a big farm, you want to prepare your cage in a form that you can heap a lot of wood shavings, and that wood shavings stays, okay, and they don't pour out. Okay, just like mine. Now I'm going to show you how I prepare my chicken house to be able to achieve this deep litter system. Okay, so back to my story on how I started with those emergency 3 chicks. Okay, so at the time when they were big enough, like some weeks old, and they needed to move out of that carton or the cooler down to a house for them outside, I had to call a carpenter to help me construct this. Okay, so you can see what I just told him a simple thing, but I specified that they have to put some woods at the tip so that I can put a lot of wood shavings. Okay, but in this one, the first one I started with, you will notice that the woods at the tip or at the front of the cage is not that high to accommodate a lot. So I notice when I use my deep litter system, sometimes when they scratch, it pours at the back because the back has nets too. So I put net at the back and front for a lot of ventilation. That's another secret too. I'll come to that. Okay, so for a lot of ventilation. Okay, so this is how simple I did my cage, but I had to make sure there was room for the deep litter system. Now currently I have a new set of poultry, which I have about 5 right now. The other old sets are gone. Okay, I have new sets, so I had to reconstruct because of my old experience. I had to increase the height so that I can have a whole lot more of space, so that I can have more deep litter, because I notice broiler smells more than the cockerels or the other layers. Okay, I read the other one was cockerel, but these ones I have now are broilers and they smell a lot, so I had to do my deep litter more, and which is helping me right now. Okay, so this time around I had to increase it, so this is what I did. Okay, so the first thing I did was to lay a kind of bag on the surface so that it doesn't affect my wood. Okay, then I poured my wood shavings. I poured a lot of it. Okay, and make sure that I level it at the bottom. Okay, I did it on the 2 places so that I can share them. Yeah, share my cheese. So you can notice the edges of this wood. Okay, I've increased the height so that it can accommodate my deep litter. Very, very important for you. Okay, so no matter the kind of chicken coop you have, try to make sure that you have room for this deep litter system. It is one of the number one thing you should do if you want to avoid smell in your chicken coop. Okay, and for those of you who don't like cleaning regularly, like I'm very, very busy, I'm a very busy mom, I have a lot on my hand, a lot on my head, I cannot be cleaning coop every day. This helps me. I don't need to clean for months, and yet my chicken coop will not smell. Okay, I'll give you other tips I use in addition of this deep litter system, but this is number one. So you want to make sure that number one, your sawdust or your wood shavings is dried, is not wet. Okay, you try to provide their water, keep their water in a way where they will not be pouring it anyhow. Yeah, try to avoid that. And even if it does, sometimes you might have little water or it mesh a little, you can come and scatter it a bit. Yeah, and then add some more wood shavings to it. Okay, that saves you the smell for it. Okay, so these are tips that has helped me, and it's working fine for me. I live in a compound where I have a lot of neighbors, and I'm wearing this, like this set I'm preparing for my December. I know December chicken is going to be very expensive in the market, so as a busy mom I still have to rear my chickens that I'm going to eat. Okay, so, and I don't have time to be cleaning poop every day, and yet I don't want smell because of myself and because of neighbors, so I have to do these things to help me. Okay, so if you don't want to be cleaning poop, the stress in the chicken, I don't do those stress every day. All I have to just do is come and feed them in the morning, and I go my way. Make sure there is food for them to eat, there is drinking water, and I go my way, and my coop will not smell. Okay, so this is number one secret to keeping a no smell farm. Okay, now you want to make sure that your wood shavings are very dry. Okay, if maybe the woods cuttings, they are not that dry, you can sun dry, but make sure that they are very, very dry. Okay, that's number one. And you have to have a lot of it. You don't manage it, you put so much of it, up to 6 inches, yeah, 4 to 6 inches heaped on your farm as your bed. Okay, bed for your coop. Okay, so that's the first secret. The reason why this helps to prevent smell when you do a deep litter, not just a normal small one, is that when you put it that high, the chicken, you know, they normally scratch. Okay, when they poo, they will scratch and it will take it inside. Then when it goes inside, the sawdust or the wood shavings kind of kill off the smell and reduces the smell of the ammonia. Okay, it goes under and under, provided your chicken house is not wet. Okay, now if you have a normal big farm land or farm space or farm or chicken coop, you can still do this. Okay, you can now pour a lot of wood shavings, you use a deep one, fill it up a lot, up to like 6 inches, and this is going to help your farm greatly. I'll give you other tips. There are other tips you need to consider. Okay, so let's go over to tip number 2. Now tip number 2 is charcoal. Yes, so the charcoal is one thing I use steadily on my farm, okay, for my chickens. Okay, now I feed them this charcoal. Okay, it's second big secret, in as much as the other one is not in your full control, that sometimes they can litter water, they can pour their drinking water, you can get the sawdust can get a little bit wet and the rest of it. Okay, but the charcoal is another thing I use in combination of the other one to help reduce smell. Okay, so as I do the deep litter system, I also feed them with charcoal. Okay, now somebody will say, charcoal, why are you giving them charcoal? Yeah, even me as a human being, as a natural medicine person, I drink charcoal. Charcoal is good for the health. Now I think I should do a full video on charcoal itself because it has a lot of things. I don't want this video to be very, very long, but charcoal is one of the things. Number one is going to prevent smell. It's going to reduce the ammonia in their poop. Okay, so it's also going to reduce diarrhea. There's so many things. I'll do a detailed video, God helping me to be able to do a detailed video on charcoal. Okay, so I feed them charcoal like 3 to like at least 3 times in a week. Okay, so it's either I add it to their food or I add it to their drinking water, and I give them to take it internally. And another big secret of to charcoal is another way to reduce mortality rates. Okay, if you want to reduce deaths in your farm, be sure that your chicken does not die easily. Okay, I have never experienced a death situation in my poultry, okay, since I started rearing, and the number of sets I've reared. Okay, I've never experienced a single death. Okay, so if you haven't watched my video where I showed you how I almost lost 2 chickens and I saved them, the natural remedy I use, you can go back and watch that video. Okay, so charcoal is one secret I use. Number 1, to remove smell, and number 2, to also keep them alive. Okay, that you don't have incidents of death in your farm. Now let's talk about the type of charcoal. Is there any kind of charcoal? Okay, so for me, the charcoal I love using best is activated charcoal. Okay, I've seen other farmers who use the regular charcoal around. They just buy normal charcoal from those who sell charcoal on the street. They said it works for them. Okay, and it didn't harm their chicken. Okay, so they just break them, use mortar to pound them and give them as food, or they add it to their water, anyone you want to use. But for me, what I was using was activated charcoal because that was what I had handy at home. And when I started, I had activated charcoal, so that's what I was, and because I know the benefits of activated charcoal for humans, I was using activated charcoal. But later on, my next set of poultry, my activated charcoal had finished. I didn't have, so I had to go and buy regular charcoal that they sell on the road, on the market or so. I didn't get much result as I do with the other charcoal, maybe because it's broiler and the smell was much, I don't know. But I think I later changed back to my activated charcoal and I had a better result with it. So for me, I prefer the activated charcoal. Another thing the activated charcoal does for me is, it's apart from the smell, activated charcoal is anti-poisonous, which is removes poison. You know, sometimes these chickens, they poo in their water and the rest and they drink it. So that's one secret. When I give them this activated charcoal, it helps to detoxify their system, and so that whatever poisonous things, whatever food they've eaten, maybe their poo or whatever that has gone into their system, it will cleanse and flush it out, and that's why it curtails the death rate on your farm. Okay, so for me, I prefer the activated charcoal, but some other persons have tried the normal charcoal. So if you don't have the activated charcoal, use the regular charcoal. Yeah, I've seen many persons claim that it works for them. Okay, instead of not giving charcoal at all, use the regular charcoal and get your benefit of no smell. Okay, it could help, but if it doesn't help you very well, and if you want the other benefit of activated charcoal, which I mentioned earlier, then buy activated charcoal. Okay, so try the other charcoals and let me know in the comment section if it works for you and if it is helping you out. Okay, but personally I prefer the activated charcoal. Okay, all right. Okay, so these are big secrets that I use in my simple poultry. Okay, all right. Okay, now number 3 tips to help with no smell is ventilation. You have to have a lot of ventilation. Okay, room for number 1, the chicken needs those ventilation to be able to survive. Okay, they like a lot of breeze, fresh air. So no matter the kind of chicken coop you have, make sure you prepare or you make room for ventilation. You want to have enough air so that the whatever smell or odor will just ooze out. Yeah, it will be in an airy environment. Okay, so that's another secret for no smell. Now number 4 tip is the use of diatomaceous earth to sprinkle on the beddings of your coop. So some persons normally mixes this with baking soda, okay, and maybe limestone. The three of it, they mix diatomaceous earth, baking soda and limestone, and they mix it together with their beddings. Okay, some use only diatomaceous earth to sprinkle on their beddings. Okay, and they said it works for them. It prevents the smell. With baking soda, of course we know that baking soda prevents smell. Okay, yeah, but for me, okay, I've tried baking soda once some time ago. Okay, but only baking soda, it didn't give me the result. I haven't seen their diatomaceous earth to buy, but with what I read about their diatomaceous earth is that it's going to prevent your sawdust from getting damp. Okay, and that's a good one. If your beddings does not get damp, it's a good one to keep your coop from smelling. Okay, so that's a good one. So if you can get their diatomaceous earth, you can spread it, mix it with your sawdust, okay, and spread for them. So these are other tips that could help you. Okay, so these are tips that has been helping me so far to reduce and curtail smell in my farm, that neighbors will not complain, or people around me will not complain or send me out of the place because I'm rearing poultry at my backyard. Okay, so let me hear your comments on the comment section. Will you try this, or have you tried any of these methods before? What works for you and what does not work for you? Okay, and any other question you have, you can also drop it on the comment section. So this is how I prevent smell on my farm. Okay, so they have their fun time where I let them out of their cage for a short while and they play just within that area and they go back. Okay, all right, so thank you so much for staying with me till the end of this video. You want to watch out for my next video. I have more tips and more things for you, especially my natural remedies I give to them. So you want to stay tuned to this channel. Okay, if you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you get alerts when I drop the next video. You don't want to miss out. Okay, thank you so much for staying with me till the end. I love you all. So like this video and share to your loved ones. Okay, bye bye. I'll see you in my next video. All right.
Raptors. We have raptors. See.